It's time to pull up a chair and talk some Dynasty football. I am your host, JJ Wenner, and this is the Rider Dynasty podcast. With me is Joe Harlow. Jameson Hutchinson is on assignment. And all right, folks, strap in. Tonight we're diving into IDP ADP and calling out the hits and the misses. We're breaking down 20 players. That's 4 each at interior DL, edge, linebacker, corner, and safety to figure out who's being drafted too high and who's flying under the radar. And to help us sort through the noise, we've got a special guest. He puts the D in IDP. Shawn Teague is here. Woo!
Woo! Shawn!
Yay. All right, gentlemen. Well, before we start, don't forget to listen to all of our podcasts and watch all of our shows here at Fantasy and Frames. Head over to fantasyandframes.com for all the latest articles and rankings covering a wide range of topics in the world of fantasy football. And stay tuned after the show for the Fantasy and Frames draft show, which is talking about high stakes drafting. They start right after us. All right, gentlemen. I would be lying if I said I have been paying any attention to IDP this year. And yet, I've done 1.5 IDP drafts. So I need some help. So we are going to take some time tonight. We're going to talk about where players are ranked. Should they be higher? Should they be lower? And you're going to help me win a league. So let's start.
Before we start, I'm going to add another little plug. Sorry. We got these rankings from Fantasy Pros of the ADP. However, soon, very soon, Fantasy and Frames is going to have our divisional previews and rankings for IDP coming up on the website. So check those out as well.
Well, that sounds great. So we're going to run through these.
Yes.
Oh,
to the question.
That's Brandon. Good. I did draft him too. We're going to run through these in true position order. We're going to start with interior defensive line. So, Shawn, who is a player who you think is ranked too high?
Well, funny story. I had Christian Wilkins ranked too high, and that story has gotten better and better over the last 30 minutes. So a lot of it had to do with his injury last year. He ended up playing 5 games before getting a Jones fracture in his left foot. Went on to have surgery. It's usually a 3 to 4 month recovery. So the fact that they put him on PUP to start training camp really baffled me. What's going on? Why is he not healthy? And 30 minutes ago, he was released for being lazy and not taking his recovery seriously, and the team is done with him. So,
wowza.
Yeah.
Wow. I am, like I said to Joe when he told me before the show, didn't he just sign a giant contract with the Raiders?
Oh, yeah. It was like $110 million, 5 years. Like, just came over from Miami last year.
It was the crown of that class, crown jewel.
Yeah, hey, he looked like a great teammate for the Dolphins. Always joke around, cutting up, playing hard. Him and Zach Sealer kind of redefined that defensive line there for Miami, and we were expecting the same thing in Vegas for him to match up with Crosby and really turn Crosby loose by eating up some of those double teams and whatnot. And he started out hot, got 2 sacks. I think he averaged about 3 or 4 tackles a game last year before he got hurt, and now he's free agent.
It was
in the wind.
$110 million with 82 3/4 guaranteed.
I would have took my rehab serious. Just saying.
For $82 million?
I'd probably do it for less if they're looking for somebody.
I might for $82. Let's be real here.
Yeah,
Shawn, you're going to have to pack on some LBs if you're going to play.
Yeah, that sounds super easy.
I'm doing that for free, right?
Yeah.
All right, Joe. Who is your interior defensive lineman who is rated too high?
This one hurts a little bit as a player on my team, one of my favorite players in the league, but I think DeForest Buckner is a little bit too high right now. Through the Fantasy Pros ADP or rankings, he is defensive tackle 1 right now. I think he's still going to be a defensive tackle 1 this year. However, the top guy overall, I think, is a little rich. He missed 5 games last year. It was really good when he did play. Week 1, he was the top overall scorer across all IDP positions. Had some other moments during the year, but a big part of it is just the team. The edge room has gotten a little worse with Daiyan Henley leaving. I guess JT Tuimoloau might counteract that, but still, he's another year older, and he missed 5 games last year. First time he's missed games in a while, but as he is now, I think he's 30 now, right? 31 now. He's on the wrong side of 30. So could that injury become more of a thing? We'll see. The majority of his tackles last year were cleanup tackles and assists, not true tackles like they have been in the past. So then his metrics were still pretty good. He was a top 7, top 8 overall defensive tackle. But his pass rush metrics are starting to slide a little bit. So I just think it's one where as he gets older on a team that doesn't have a good offense, I'm not really wanting to take him that high. I still think DT 8-ish, I think is absolutely fine, but it's too big of a swing for the top overall interior guy.
All right. Well, let's go now to some good news. Who do you think, Shawn, is ranked too low?
Yeah, so I immediately looked at a couple guys here that I wanted to probably put up closer in the top 2 or 3. And then as I went further down the list, Mr. Jonathan Allen, all the way down at 19 for interior defensive lineman. This guy is, for years, he was one of the top guys in Washington and finished right inside the top 12 a lot of times. Sacks, tackles, he does it all. And he was hurt last year. Missed most of the season, or a good chunk of it. Came back in the playoffs, was only able to put down a few tackles during the 3-game stretch for the Commanders there. Now he's going over to the Vikings. He's healthy. He had already come back, towards the end of the playoffs, so definitely healthy now. Signs over Minnesota, joining Harrison Phillips, the Gravedigger, Javon Hargrave. You got a 3-man edge rotation with Van Ginkel, Dallas Turner, Jonathan Greenard. And I'm looking at him to be the main guy in this defense, to be rejuvenated. Brian Flores, we've seen what he done with Christian Wilkins back when he cared about football and playing. Zach Sealer, he kind of put those 2 guys on the map. He made Harrison Phillips relevant 2 years ago. So his schemes are really helpful for the interior guys. And I'm looking for Jonathan Allen for at least this year to come back and really put up the numbers we expect out of a guy who, like I said, was a top draft pick and perennial top 12 defender.
All right. Joe, any thoughts about Jonathan Allen?
Him being that low is just crazy. I know last year was hurt. He is also like DeForest Buckner older, but yeah, just what Shawn said. Too good.
Yeah, the 81st ranked defensive lineman, if you're in the
Crazy.
3 category league. All right. Who is your IDL who's rated too low?
Not to one up Shawn, but I'm going to go even farther down the board to DL99. That is Mr.
That's
Osa.
deep.
I just got
How
mobbed.
deep is it?
You did.
Did I? Did I do it?
No, he's mogging.
He's mogging me. Or just mogging.
He's mogging.
Tune in next week for some more slang, guys.
More Teague's tips. This time.
Oh, Teague's tips.
Anywho, Osa Odighizuwa, the Cowboys' interior pass rusher. I don't know why he's going this low. Like, can anyone help me out there? Why is that a thing? Like, just inside the top 100? I think that's D tackle. What was it, 22, something like that? But I think he's honestly, I would consider taking him over DeForest Buckner. Dallas is looking a lot better this year, offensively, with George Pickens, the O-line getting healthy and improving with Tyler Booker. Dak's going to be healthy in theory. It's going to give him more opportunities to rush the passer. From purely pass rush metrics, he was one of the top 7 defensive tackles across the league last year in pretty much every category, from win percentage to productivity. And that's with true pass sets, general sets, all the time. He was just absolutely dominant. I think pressures, he had the 5th most pressures amongst all defensive tackles. The names above him: Chris Jones, Zach Allen, Jalen Carter, Kobe Turner, and then tied with Nnamdi Madubuike and Cam Hayward.
It's good company.
That's pretty damn good company, I would say. The sacks didn't get as high as those guys. I think he had tied for the lowest number of that group. But still, that productivity is hard to deny. And he's not great against the run, but they don't really have – that's kind of what this defense is. They want those lighter guys on the field. It's true with Mike Zimmer. It's probably going to be true now with Eberflus. That's DeForest Buckner started going crazy in Indy with Eberflus, and then had those secondary defensive tackles, the pass rush tackles, even Taven Bryan, fellow Wyomingite, had a great moments in that defense randomly. So I really like Odighizuwa. I think he's a DT1 this year, but so this is way too low for me. Absolute steal.
Shawn, any thoughts on Osa?
The only thing I can add, I mean, it's just his consistency. Every year he's been in the league, he's around that 45 tackles, 3-4 sacks a year. Very consistent player. Just the numbers aren't as high as what we want on some of the tackles and sacks. Maybe the contract year, everybody assumed he got paid and he's going to relax now, is the only thing I can think of that would cause his ADP to slide. But
I think 8 to 10 even 10 sacks is possible this year. If Mike is healthy, the edge, they have some real threats. So, yeah, he did just get paid too. I forgot about that.
All right. Well, let's move over to the edge position. Now, Joe, who do you think is rated too high?
This one's not going to be popular, so I'm going to prepare myself for the backlash. But I'm going to go with Aidan Hutchinson.
Ooh, sorry.
Uh-oh.
Last year, yeah, he ended with, even though he only played 5 games, had some of the highest metrics. I think he was still like top 15 or top 10 in pressures. I think he was pretty fake. He did not play a single starting right tackle in those 5 games. Every single matchup he had, save maybe one, he was playing a backup where the starter was hurt during practice that week or in the previous game. So that's already going to help boost some numbers. And do we remember why he only played 5 games? A pretty serious injury, which typically with those knee injuries, the first year back still can be fine, but it's the year after where they really kind of get back to form. So both of those things said, and he's going at D. He's the 3rd D lineman right now. I just think that's a little rich. I would not take him. I would easily take Watt, Garrett, Crosby, and Parsons and Will Anderson over him, just they don't have the injury concern. I think Hutchinson's a little overrated as a pass rusher, but even taking that part of it out, the injury is enough for me to not want him in tier 1. So I still think he's an edge 1. Just the talent there is, even if he does happen to be going against backup tackles, he's still going against them and is going to produce. So I think he's worthy of being taken, like over Brian Burns as a edge 1, but I don't have him in tier 1 or probably not even tier 2 right now, just with the injury.
All right. Well, hopefully nobody from Detroit is listening, because they're going to be really mad about what you just said. They will say that you're mad chop, and that's cat.
I love your D tackles. I think they're great.
Shawn, who do you think is rated too high as an edge?
I'm going with Greg Rousseau. He just doesn't do enough for me here. Which he's the 15th edge rusher on this list. And he's got very solid numbers. I've only seen him top out at 8 sacks. Tackles are in the 50s. These aren't bad. But when he's going over guys that I think are way better, Nick Benito, Harold Landry, Jonathan Cooper even, I would take several of these guys, even probably Trevon Walker, I would take over Greg Rousseau, just because I see their ceilings as already being higher. And he's just kind of bleh. He does this, just not much for me here. Plus, their strength of schedule this year for edge rushers, Buffalo is near the bottom. If not last, they're right there near it. So tougher schedule. Still got Epinesa, brought in Joey Bosa too, Michael Hoyt, who is suspended. I think this was a move to get some little more rotation in here too. So I don't think it's going to eat into his playing time too much, but the possibility is still there.
All right. Joe, any thoughts about Rousseau?
I'm actually kind of on the other side of this one. I like Rousseau where he's rated. I think just metrics wise, he's top 15 in most things. And he's actually improved it to be the top 30 for run defense, which was unexpected. So I'm more bullish, but I was definitely surprised to see him there. I was hoping that someone you could grab as a high-end deep edge 2, but sneak in there more like edge 3 ranks. But I think I like him a little more than Shawn does.
Shawn,
having
okay.
Well, that was easy. I like when we were able to negotiate. Like that.
Yeah, I just traded Rousseau for Hutchinson, guys.
I don't know if I do that.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Great deal. Great deal.
Wait.
All right. So, Joe, which edge do you think is too low?
So, this is a Penn State podcast, the uber freaky athletes who do nothing at school for some reason or another. We're going to take someone who I'm already going to say I was right on him last year. That was my 2024 Edge 1, Chop Robinson. Jared Verse was better last year, but we're going to ignore that for the sake of this argument. Metrics-wise, Chop was like one of the top 10 edge rushers in the league last year. Yes, he's small, so the run game is a struggle. Is that the kind word we want to use? But he showed, if nothing else, a lot of those guys who are small edges, they don't put up any fight in the run game. That's not the case with this guy. Chop at least fights. He will try, which is weird that's something
that's all it takes now.
It matters. It really is all that matters. He tries, he gives a go. Sometimes has better success than others. I wrote an article on him recently, but now I can't find where that went. So, and we're going to ignore that now. No, that's probably where it'd be. Anywho, but I really liked his upside. I know we loved Jalen Phillips, another former Dolphin or former high-profile Dolphin, still is a Dolphin, before the injuries. And Chop, a big part of that, as I know my buddy Justin Fry always mentioned, was elite metrics up there with the Khalil Max at the time and that level of rusher. Chop is at that level now. Found the snaps. He needs to see more snaps to really hit over, to really go to the next level. He was only in like the 50s last year, but where he's going at DL 43, I think there's so much upside in this guy where he could, in a sack-heavy league, he could be a top 12 edge rusher this year, but especially with a defense that doesn't have much else going for it.
So where are you, Shawn, on Chop?
I'm with Joe, actually. I think this is a great call. As a Dolphin fan, I was not big when they drafted Chop Robinson. I was hoping for an offensive lineman to protect my quarterback from getting concussed again. So I just wasn't very big on him coming out of college. And after watching him catch on last year, especially with all the injuries to Chubb, Phillips again, those guys are out. He really came on strong. And like Joe said, his win rates and stuff like that are very high. And there's a lot to build on. I can see why he is low with the threat of Phillips and Chubb coming back this year. If nothing else, he's earned himself a fair amount of rotation. And there's a very good chance that both those guys get hurt again. So, yeah, I agree. He is too low.
Yeah. Same time, the 26 total tackles last year is tough. But I know the metrics wise, he was the only guys who are ahead of him in both PFF's pass rush win rate.
That's why I didn't try to say that.
And their PRP metric. The only guys ahead of him in both are Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, Aidan Hutchinson, and Trey Hendrickson.
All right.
Yeah,
So
I knew he was up there.
And a bum, apparently. So.
Detroit bum.
Just needs to get more playing time. All right.
Yeah.
Shawn, who do you think is rated too low at edge?
Montez Sweat. I'd lost my spot on my notes. Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
Had a down year last year. Year before, he led 2 teams in sacks, and then
still so crazy.
Yeah, right. Bad teams. So this last year, he just didn't get the sacks. His tackles were down. His quarterback hits were cut in half. Just a bad year. And this year, their strength of schedule is really good for edge rushers. They've improved the line around him. Grady Jarrett is there now. Old, but still a good run stuffer and body eater. And they brought in who they bring in from the Colts?
Dio Dangbo.
That word. And
that
guy. That guy. And then Jervin Dexter, they're in the middle too. So I think the pieces around him are actually going to help him get back up to double-digit sacks this year. He's not a high tackle guy, kind of like Chop. He's in that probably low 40 range tackle-wise, but if he can get the quarterback hits and the sacks, forced fumbles, I think are in his wheelhouse as well. So the big plays, they're going to come back this year, and I think he's too low at edge rush 90 or 29 here.
All right. Montez Sweat. So that finishes edges. Let's go to linebackers, the bread and butter of IDP leagues. Shawn, who do you think is ranked too high?
It's Blake Cashman for me. I'm just not a believer. He keeps getting 100 tackles the last 2 years, but the injuries year after year in New York, even in Minnesota last year, he missed 3-4 games. Houston, he missed 3 or 4 games. He gets used right by Flores with the blitzing, so he gets to pad his stats a little bit with sacks, quarterback hits, stuff like that, tackles for a loss. But I can get Robert Spillane, 1 pick after him, who has 300 tackles over the last 2 years, 5.5 sacks, 5 interceptions. So I can get a more complete package waiting, and I have better insurance as far as health goes. Now, when Cashman is on the field, he does produce. I'm a little worried about Hargrave coming in, Allen coming in, the emergence of Dallas Turner this year too. There's a lot of mouths to feed in that 7, and I just don't know that he's going to be the guy to get all these tackles, which he's barely getting over 100 tackles there, 106, 112. He's not a big 150-plus tackle guy. So between the injuries, low tackles, I want my linebackers tackle heavy. And then if they can give me sacks, interceptions, and all that, those are just bonus points. So for him to be the 7th overall linebacker here, that's way too high for me.
So where would you be comfortable taking him? Like, say he falls.
Yeah.
And you're at linebacker 15.
15 is probably pretty fair. That puts him around the Logan Wilson, Ernest Jones, according to this list. Levante David. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to say I like him closer to 20.
Okay. I'll take that.
Are you high on Ivan Pace then, or just think it's one of those things? There's too many guys.
There's too many guys, and this is basically a 1 linebacker system. Josh Metellus is the linebacker 2 in this system. So there's only enough room for 1 linebacker at a time. Whoever's in this spot, if they play the full year in this spot, then yeah, they're going to be higher up on this list. But are they going to finish 7th overall? I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right. Joe, who do you think is a linebacker who's ranked too high?
I'm going to keep being a hater and go with longtime IDP favorite Foye Oluokun. This is one of those where, if you followed my stuff or followed us for the past year or so, know that a lot of times my on-field biases will bleed into fantasy projections a little bit. Foye Oluokun's a bad linebacker. He's not good anymore. So this is one of those times where I think it's really going to catch up with him. I think in 2024, I don't have the specific numbers, but he was one of the bottom 10 linebackers in coverage. He can't really tackle anymore. I think he's just, every time I saw the Jags play, he was the biggest liability on the defense, not named Darnell Savage. So Devin Lloyd, as up and down as he's been, I think his floor is higher than Oluokun's right now. And if he's not the linebacker one this year, then Jacksonville frankly doesn't know what they're doing, or they're just catering to the big money, which is silly. But just simply, I don't think he's going to be a full-time linebacker anymore. There's times last year when Oluokun and Lloyd were out, when Chad Muma and the other linebacker, whose name is escaping me, not D Winters.
Ventrell Miller.
Thank you. They looked better than Oluokun did, or at least comparable. I don't think he makes it through. I would be honestly not be surprised if he's cut at some point in training camp, but I genuinely think he's a bottom level linebacker at this point. He has had a nice long career, but I think it's over. He can't cover anymore, and that was his big thing. He's not big enough to be a thumper.
So you're saying you wouldn't draft him then?
No.
Or is there a range where you'd be comfortable?
There's a range, but it'd be after where Shawn was playing Blake Cashman. Like, I'm taking him. I'm still taking like Quincy Williams, who's LB 28 over him. It gets weird when they start adding in edge players. Probably when we were starting to get down to the Tremaine Edmonds, Dre Greenlaw, that sort of area is probably where I'm thinking I put Foye, which is aggressive. It's incredibly aggressive, I understand, but I've been out on Foye for a couple of years, and I'm just calling the shot that this is actually the year.
That is true. Now, before we get to the last two linebackers, if you like listening to pods on Apple or Spotify, look up Ride or Dynasty, and you'll find both the Rod Pod and Diehards with me and Doug Orth. I've been uploading some of our past episodes, but please like and subscribe. That way we can get our pods out to more people. And a word from our sponsor, make sure you download and subscribe to the Fast Draft app today using the promo code FRAMES, which will earn you a first-time deposit match of up to $50 in credits. From their Origins game, where you draft only rookies, their Flex 4 game, where you pick your favorite players for the upcoming season, and their D-Up game, which is just like Flex 4, but with IDP fantasy football players only. This 20-second timer, PPR formatted, 6-round best ball draft game is perfect for those on the go but itching to get their fantasy football draft fix satisfied. Again, that's promo code FRAMES, which will earn you a first-time deposit match of up to $50 in credits. The Fast Draft app. Start drafting faster. All right, Shawn, who is your next LB?
Tyrel Dodson for the Miami Dolphins. He is how low on this list?
So low.
Actually, it's LB 30.
Oh, okay. That's not that
Which isn't too bad. That's higher than where Joe would put Foye Oluokun, which is enough to piss off the people in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
but
are they really real football fans down there? I'm just kidding if you're from Jacksonville. It's a lovely city.
I've heard of it.
I once had Easter dinner at a Burger King in Jacksonville.
I got lost there once. Maybe twice. It was like the same lost. I didn't get found and then get lost again. I was just lost for a really long time. But anyway.
Well, then you didn't get lost twice, just lost once.
Yeah.
Super lost.
Yeah, so lost. All right.
Sorry,
Let's
Tyrel
get
Dodson.
back to it here. Tyrel Dodson. Yeah, so last year he split times between Seattle and Miami. Still got 100 tackles. Miami likes to run 2 linebackers full time, 100% of the snaps. So whoever the 2 are, they're in there all game, all 3 downs. There's no pulling guys out, dropping into 1 linebacker sets. With the 3 games that he did start for Miami, of course, they were towards the end of the season. Against Green Bay, 10 tackles. Against Cleveland, 15 tackles, interception. Against the Jets, 4 tackles, interception. Yeah, Jets won the game, but he did catch a pass. So that's nearly 10 tackles a game in those 3 games, 2 interceptions, 3 pass deflections. He grades really high on PFF's coverage for linebackers. I think he's top 10, maybe right there at 9, 10, something like that. I think he's a great fit for Miami. He's great in coverage. He's not the best in – he's 4th?
He was up at 4.
Oh, wow.
I took like at least 10% of snaps, or at least 10% of the leader in snaps. He is number 4 in their coverage grade.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
Yeah, I chose
that's even better.
50%, and he was 3rd. Only behind Zach Bond and Fred Warner.
I'm surprised Zach Bond's that high.
Carly's is up there too, but he's not really a linebacker. So, yeah.
Yeah, great in coverage. Needs some work on his run defense. So he's not going to get you the sacks, but big play, interceptions, deflections, stuff like that. This Miami defense does not look great right now. So there should be plenty of tackles to come his way because I think Zach Sealer is the only known defensive lineman. Edge rushers are suspects.
Christian Wilkins is available.
He is available. That's going to change things if he signs back. Not much. Hey,
Kenneth Grant's big.
Mika Fitzpatrick just came back, so.
Oh, they took the big Michigan tackle this year.
Yeah. I'm actually excited about him.
Point.
He should have a clear path to snaps too. So that's somebody to keep on your, I guess, your breakout sleeper kind of list.
Well, when I had Gary Davenport on
I've heard of him
podcast, little known guy, I asked who is one player in fantasy football who I should draft this year, and his answer was Tyrel Dodson.
Oh, that's a big validation from the grandfather of something. I don't know.
The Godfather. Oh my word! You're lucky he's too busy writing to listen to this.
We've met, not in person, but
that's because we got to get you to the expo.
Yeah. He's been trying to get me up there too, actually.
To walk back at some previous slander, I feel like Dodson's a lot like
slander.
When Oluokun came over to Jacksonville right after breaking out with Atlanta, just pass coverage extraordinaire and got in the way on defense. So, I mean, Oluokun was the top linebacker for first 3 years in Jacksonville. So,
yeah, well, he led in Atlanta and Jacksonville like back-to-back years. I think he had the most tackles. And then last year was weird because they did keep moving him like out on the edge, putting him kind of on the line there for some plays too. Plus the injuries. Yeah. I actually think Oluokun bounces back to an extent, but still, 4th overall? That's higher than I would feel comfortable taking him to. But I don't expect him to finish as low as Joe does.
I'm a hater.
We know.
It's okay. Listen, we need
almost got
that
to take Jameson's role.
Yeah.
Yes, and listen, quick shout out. The reason why Jameson isn't here is not because we were talking IDP. He did have other plans, and we decided since he wasn't here, it's like when my wife goes on vacation and I order a pizza every night for dinner.
Yep.
So this is my pizza. Talking IDP with Shawn and Joe. All right, Joe, who is your linebacker who is ranked too low?
So I cheated a bit here. I have 2 names. And I cut a corner. We're going to start with Daiyan Henley. I'm sorry. Do we care about corners? And linebackers are more interesting, as JJ said.
What?
Wow. Sauce Gardner would like to have a word with you.
hey, corners are important for football, but Sauce Gardner doesn't do much for IDP leagues.
No,
That's
nothing
true.
at
At
all.
this point.
It's true.
But which is a shame.
And he's a Jet, so
Shame.
who cares?
And he didn't go to Penn State.
I was just about to hit the mute button and blow my nose, but we are not doing any Jet slander on this very sensitive day.
I thought the other show was the Jet show.
It is, but
The
that
shoe
does
is on
not
the
mean
other
I
foot.
allow Jet slander.
Toeing a line there, JJ. Toeing a line.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Already put down Blake Cashman, though. He was kind of a Jet.
He was on the roster.
Yeah, he was on the roster. That's all it takes.
So many linebackers were on that roster. I mean,
true.
Demario Davis was a Jet
It's true.
before
he was
like
a good one, though. He was a good
dominant
one.
for like 12 years. Sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
Anyway, Daiyan Henley is where I'm going to go with All-Pro. I'm surprised by his ranking. I think he was top. He finished as a linebacker 1 last year, I believe, in his first year starting. Honestly, he was just awesome. And I think he's ESPN's list where he wasn't even a top 10 linebacker is insane. But I think he's top 5 linebacker in the league. Showed out, was incredible. I think, he's like the film nerds guy for linebacker. Loved him out of Wazoo. And then, last year he was just over 1,000 snaps, 150 tackles, made some big plays as well. Him outside of the top 18 linebackers, he's at 19.
I
20.
think this is 19. I think is where I had him at, or showed him at earlier. I think this has a lot to do with that last game where he
TJ
scored
Watt.
nothing. So people are like kind of taking their revenge back on him, knocking him down a peg. So
That's okay. I will capitalize on that, and you guys should too.
Well, he was, according to PFF, he came in 15th overall last year in overall defense, and in coverage grade, he came in 6th. Only 3 spots
Good.
behind
that's
Tyrel.
that's all he could get, huh?
No Tyrel Dodson. Oh, I
Who
think
is?
you're looking at. I believe you're looking at Edgerrin Cooper, JJ.
Oh, I did 50% of snaps.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, I guess next name on my list is Edgerrin Cooper.
Oh, there we go.
So works out. Edgerrin Cooper, who was 6th for at least 10% of snaps, so in coverage. So there was a miscommunication there. I love Edgerrin Cooper. As you know, I was super high on him. I think he was one of my true first-round grades in last year's draft cycle, which was not a popular opinion, and he was honestly better than I expected him to be as a rookie. He was an elite pass rusher as a linebacker, which was expected, but he was really good in coverage, run defense. He was a top 10 linebacker in both of those areas. I think he might have actually been 7th in both. But I think he's borderline in contention to be the overall linebacker 1 dynasty leagues for me. With Fred Warner is the best linebacker in the league, but I feel like he's never been a great fantasy producer. He's almost too good. He's too good to produce.
He's always been that best LB2.
Yeah. He's too good to be good in fantasy.
Yeah.
Him and Roquan. Just factoring in if he can be a top 10 pass coverage linebacker and top 10 against the run to go with being one of the best pass rush threats. I also wrote a IDP Riser article on him, and I think he's absolutely going to the moon. I think he's overtaking Quay Walker. I don't know if he'll be the green dot this year per se. He still needs some refinement with his eyes, but I think it's absolutely wheels up for him. And I'm going to have him as a top 5. Him and Henley are going to be top 5 linebackers for me this year. So getting him outside of the top 18 is
Crazy.
too low.
So you think that his usage at the end of the season was more indicative of how they're going to use him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it seems
for sure.
reports that they're glowing on him and that he was started slow to the year because he was injured as the rookie pre-draft process. That's the word, in through camp, and then he needed time. Texas A&M doesn't run a real defense, so
that is true. They do not. All right. Now, although Joe doesn't believe they matter, Shawn, we know they do. So let's talk a little bit about cornerbacks. Which corner do you think is ranked too highly?
All of them, because they don't matter, JJ.
Oh, my Lord, both of you.
except for one. There is one who matters, and we will get to him later.
All right. I went with Riley Moss just because he was the only white corner on the list. And there's no way he's keeping his job, right?
Wait, Jason Sehorn's not playing anymore?
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Wait, what about Cooper DeJean?
He wasn't on the list.
He's a nickel.
I don't know. He's probably listed more as safety. I really don't know. I didn't see him on either list now that I think about it.
He's far down on the corners on the DB list.
Is he?
Where is he?
That's a good question.
He is 147 overall, cornerback.
DB.
8.
He's a nice DB 69.
Nice.
Very
All
nice.
right. Go ahead. Talk about Riley Moss.
Yeah, I just think with Jadae Barrett coming in, I think he's going to affect that entire secondary outside of Surtain. He's been practicing outside. He's been practicing inside where Jaquan McMillan. And he's also had some time at safety during practices too, and even at linebacker. So they're looking to get him on the field no matter what. So that may eat into Riley Moss's time. And just the fact that Barron will be the rookie this year, who's more likely to get targeted over Moss. So just the unknowns there. Sure, he's only quarterback or corner 14 here. I'm not feeling comfortable taking any Broncos corner this year until I see how these camps turn out, the preseason turns out, and I see where everybody's aligned. Because right now, I feel it like it could be anybody's game. This might be a rotation where 1 week it's Riley Moss's week, next week it's Surtain's, next week it's Barron's, McMillan's, whoever. It's just going to be a giant cluster this year. So I'm jumping off that.
Well, the one rule I always had for IDP drafts was don't draft corners because you don't know who's going to start. You have no idea what's going to happen before the season, and you can always find top-performing corners on the waiver wire.
So me and Ricky Rodrigue have been doing.
I know him.
Yeah, you've heard of him. Yeah, nice dude. Nice dude. We did a bunch of shows where they did a 10-year study of the repeat rates for each position. We went through all of them. Cornerback, I think, was the lowest. There was only 8 of the top 24 that repeat year after year. So it's a total grab bag already.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to figure it out this early in the offseason. Best thing I could say is if you're going to draft corners, usually it's 2 in a league. Find one always near the top. He's your anchor guy. Stream the other one. Look for that first week or 2 matchup. See somebody's got some good matchups. That's your second guy, and then you're dropping in by week 2. So,
yeah, I've always felt that corners also disappear. Like there's no like gradual decline, like in a running back, like they slowly get worse, or a wide receiver, quarterback. Like cornerbacks are great one year and then gone the next.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of that schemes, part of that's just pressure that the guys up front are getting, just injuries around. A lot of it doesn't really, it's not necessarily them, it's everything else that can go wrong with everyone else affects them. So it's.
I also think it's one position that is pure physicality. Like you need to be able to backpedal, like swivel your hips and follow. Like you have to be at the top level of athlete.
Very few guys can do it for a long time. We're talking like
to make tackles too.
Yeah. Some guys were good at coming up playing the run too. Take Antoine Winfield Sr. He did it for a long time, but he played the run very well. Guys like Rondé Barber, he was a good corner for a while. started getting slower, they moved him to safety, Pro Bowler, Hall of Famer, whatever. Rondé Barber was a good one, but it's rare.
All right, Joe. Who is your corner?
I went too high on Nate Hobbs. He's one of those guys who he's been a stalwart in the top 12 corners for the past few years with the Raiders as their slot man. However, it seems like he's moving to the outside in Green Bay. And JJ, I love your rule not to draft corners. To be a little more specific on that, don't draft boundary corners is my rule. Nickel guys are the ones who are going to be those who are most likely going to be those 8 of 24 repeating. It's just easier for them too as they're near the ball. And if Hobbs is moving to the outside, then I think he's at corner 4 on this list, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to take a boundary corner that high. Nothing against Hobbs. It's roll.
Yeah, Trip Brebner taught me that when we used to do Getting Defensive with Gary Van Dyke together. And Trip always said, like, the further away you are from the ball, the less likely you're going to perform at all.
Dude, Trip is one of the greatest minds I've heard. His perspective, especially in safeties, defense backs in generals. Yeah, he's one of my favorites to listen to. Anytime I get a chance, Trip Brebner. That's the guy.
That slight Southern drawl. No wonder you like it. All right.
Right in.
All right, Shawn, who is your cornerback that's too low?
Yeah, I just picked a random one. Just so happens it's Joe's favorite third rounder from Kentucky last year, Mr. Dru Phillips. He's in a great spot. It's a team I expect to be on defense fairly often, actually, for the Giants. And he is the nickel guy. They have Deontay Banks and Paulson Adebo came over in free agency. So he's going to be that guy in the nickel up near the line of scrimmage. Probably not 100% of the snaps, but he's going to be near the ball. And last year, 71 tackles, 7 tackles for a loss, 1 interception, a couple forced fumbles. It's a defense I expect to be on the field quite a bit. So that's another key factor. So if he's going to the field and near the ball, that's all I need.
All right. Now, gentlemen, we have 4 players left, and we have about 7 minutes to do it. So let's do this. Joe, which safety do you have ranked as too high?
I went with Josh Metellus. Love the player. I just think with Cam Bynum going out to Indianapolis, that his role is going to be more stable. Whereas Shawn mentioned earlier that he's the linebacker 2 on the team. He was used all over the place. D-line, he was even used as a D-tackle at times, which really let him be the jack of all trades. And I think he's going to be more of a fixed piece on the defense now. So just a little bit of concern for a top. Where is he at right now? He's at DB6. So I think just with that risk, it's a little too high.
All right. Shawn, who do you think is ranked too high?
I took Kyle Duggar at safety 8 here. And a lot of it has to do with just how much they've upgraded the defense and the coaching in general. There's a lot of new faces. That linebacker core has been upgraded just with Robert Spillane. Christian Barmore is back, healthy, right in the middle. Milton Williams comes over. Harold Landry's coming over. He's a tackle machine himself for an edge rusher. I just don't think there's going to be enough tackles to go around for everybody. And the fact that him and Jabril Peppers kind of switch who's the box safety kind of randomly. It didn't seem to be just Pepper's job, just Duggar's job. Seems like it was maybe game to game. Like this guy's the box safety one week, he's not the next. So that instability and just the upgraded defense all around, we're expecting the offense to be better, hold on to the ball more, chew up more clock, less opportunities. 8's too high for Duggar.
All right, too high. Now, does it make a difference if you're like playing in sleeper where they have double positions, dual positions? Like for Metellus, he's a linebacker and a DB. Would you bump him up for that or no? Does that not make a difference to you?
No, if it matters more for like Jason Carley's, if he can go from linebacker to DB, just linebackers tend to score higher, so it's going to be very rare where a DB outscores a linebacker. So
right.
I love being able to use TJ Watt as a D lineman, but
yeah, a guy like Carly's is even on Yahoo, he's listed as a defensive back or cornerback. So to get a linebacker's production at cornerback level, it's quite a cheat code. Not quite as much as a wide receiver 3 as a corner for Mr. Travis Hunter here, but
yeah.
True that. All right, Joe. Last player of the day. Which safety do you think is ranked too low?
The new Panthers safety, Tre'Von Moehrig. I think he's just kind of a badass out there. He'll hit everything that moves. Last year, over 100 tackles with the Raiders. Played 1,100 snaps. 63% of those are in the box. There is no talent in the safety room in Carolina right now, so I would be shocked if they try to put him back at deep safety. He's going pretty late now. I just switched tabs. I lost where he was.
There's barely any talent in front of him at linebacker. So
they have some good corners, and D tackles. Yeah. That's really it. But I lost where he was on the list. But
poor linebacking groups are the key to big safety production as well. So
yep, I like Moehrig. Good player.
I do too. I'm with you.
All right, and last player for you, Shawn. Who do you think is ranked too low at safety?
Justin Reid. He is all the way down at 41, just in safeties. And that is insane. Justin Reid has been a top 24 guy for years. Has a solid tackle floor, 80, 90 tackles. Doesn't get all the sacks or interceptions, but he gets enough to be relevant every year. And to have him at 41, to be able to get him that late on a team that is going to be awful on offense and probably defense. You got an old man, Demario Davis, a nobody Pete Warner, and an old Cameron Jordan in the middle of it. So a lot of plays going to come his way, if I'm not mistaken, and that's a lot of tackle opportunities.
Honey Badger's retired, so he's going
to be. Honey Badger's just retired. Yeah, so that's that feels like stealing at 41. That's crazy.
All right. Well, I've been caught stealing once when I was 5.
Stole my wife's heart.
All right, gentlemen. Shawn, thank you so much for always supporting our shows. As the only non-J name that we invite regularly into here, please let the people know. It is wild. Please let the people know where they can find you and any final thoughts.
You can find me at Shawn8386 on Twitter, Blue Sky, all the fun stuff. And yeah, you can catch me in the comments when I'm not on here, and maybe some stuff on IDP Plus coming out soon. So.
Exciting.
Fantastic. Joe.
You can find me at JoeLo63 on the social medias. Keep a lookout for the division previews we are putting out soon. I will be doing IDP for the NFC divisions.
Nice. Well, I'd like to say again, thank you to Shawn. You're a great guy. I love when you come on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you to Joe, Jameson, and the crew at Fantasy and Frames. We are back next week at Thursday at 8 p.m. Stay tuned for the Fantasy and Frames draft show, which is starting right after this. Until then, remember, love yourself, know your worth. You are enough. Boat drinks, my friends. Boat drinks.